live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube right now or you're on Facebook, Instagram, go share our YouTube channel right now. Share it with the people. Let them know that we are live. I'm going to give that task to anybody who's listening, anybody who's watching, and I'm going to share it on my Facebook in a little bit as well. So a lot to get into tonight. We had a festive week this week on Raine's Reality. If you missed it, we got to interview the one and only Creeper from the MTV's G's to Jits. He was the winner of the hit show G's to Jits, where they took gangster men from the streets and turned them into gentlemen. If you missed this interview, it is posted on our YouTube and it will be posted on our Facebook as well. There is also an article we specifically put out for my man on Raine's Reality or rainrose.com. You can find that located on the website as well. But without further ado, what do y'all think about the interview?
I learned a lot. You know, there was a lot of information that I didn't know about the judiciary system or the judicial system. And, I believe the young man is going places. I mean, he has a very big personality. He's very passionate. And he loves his God. He loves his community. Yeah. Like I said, man, I learned a lot from his interview. Some things that is worthy of research, because I think at some point in time, we might never know when we may need to know some of that information for ourselves that he shared. It's really good stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
He has a very big personality. He's very passionate. And he loves his God. He loves his community. Like I said, man, I learned a lot from his interview. Some things that is worthy of research, because I think at some point in time, we might never know when we may need to know some of that information.
I completely agree with you. He definitely talked about the laws, the amendment. I can't remember which amendment it was we were talking about, but
13.
13. So what he was saying, right now, what he was saying was pretty much that you have to be mindful of what you do as a young male, especially a young Black male, because the first thing they want to do is give you a felony. Because once you get the felony, you become a slave, pretty much to the to prison, to the penitentiary. So you become a slave to America, and that's pretty much what the exchange of becoming a felon is, where you're agreeing to work for free by law. That's what it's saying.
I believe there's a film, I can't remember right now, but there's a film that's on Netflix that speaks highly on the 13th Amendment and about the slavery to prison system. It's on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but it was a big thing.
It's called 13. I think the name of it is 13.
Yeah, 13. Yep. Yeah. So check it out, people. It's what I need to check it out myself, but it's I heard that it's very good.
We should all check that out, and we'll bring it back and talk about it, or even check out parts of it, dissect it, and come back and do a special episode on it.
For sure. For sure.
So, Jess, what were your thoughts about the interview?
My thoughts, well, first, as Sam said previously before going live, I love that he talks about the Bible. I love how he doesn't mind talking about God and praising God. You know, he just kept saying God is good, because I mean, if you really think about all that he's gone through already, and you see all the struggles that he's had to go through, and he still believes in God, he still praises the Lord and stuff, talks about the Bible, characters in the Bible, people in the Bible. It's refreshing to see that, like, the things he's gone through, it hasn't tainted his faith or anything like that. So absolutely. I really enjoyed that. And I just love how, personable he is. He's so open, and he kept saying his life is an open book. And I mean, he really does mean that. He didn't leave anything off the table. And I'm sure we could have gone. Right. I'm sure we could have gone longer.
And the ugly. He talked about it all.
Yeah, so I would love for him to come back on, and for us to have like a part 2 plus, with just him coming on and just talking about current events and stuff. So he's a cool personality to have around.
Agreed. I definitely agree with you on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna get into tonight's episode. We have quite a bit of information to share with you guys. Obviously, we're gonna get into what's new in the news. We're gonna do what's real in hip hop. And if we have time, we might do a little special preview of a song, local hit song. I don't know what we'll have time to do tonight, but we'll get into as much as we can. Try and keep it brief, try and keep it short, real nice, cute, professional. Y'all know what it is. So without further ado, let's get into what's new in the news with my girl, Jess. What you got for us tonight, Jess?
We got quite a few things going on in the news right here in Florida, child. I mean, it's real out here in the worst way, though. Not the best way, the worst way. The first story is Palm Beach County. Your schools are going to get metal detectors. I mean, what's going on in Palm Beach County schools where they have to have metal detectors all of a sudden? Apparently, from the article, it states that the Superintendent Mike Burke said that metal detectors has been something that they have implemented in the schools over time, but now they want to add them to all the schools. So I guess they were just in some schools. You can guess which ones they're probably in. But now they're going to go ahead, Raine.
I said, definitely, probably. I was thinking more of the high schools, and when you said that, you know what it made me think about. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Definitely the schools in different areas, you know.
Right. Well, that's the main goal. Go ahead, Sam.
It's nothing new. Like I said, I don't know if Raine saw the comment that I made on our Facebook page, but I said that when I was going to school in high school in 1999 to 2003, we for all 4 years we used metal detectors at our school in the Bronx.
Wow.
And we had to take off our bags, put it through the machine, and then it's like we're in the airport.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and because it all depends on. To me, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Well, I mean, while Sam takes a brief pause, they are going to all the Palm Beach County high schools, and when Sam comes on, I'll let him finish it. But I don't know. I mean, I can understand why they might want to bring metal detectors to the high school, being that violence is sadly enough something that happens a lot at schools, shootings and attacks and fights and gangs and I mean all kind of things going on. So I can understand why for safety, but what kind of precedent is that set into the students there who, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like making them familiar with going through metal detectors and all of that kind of stuff. Like how would that make any of the other children feel? Once Sam comes back, I would like for him to say how he felt personally going through metal detectors the first time and over time getting used to it. Like, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so like the first time, for the first couple of weeks that, I went through that experience, it was like, okay, what am I getting into here? What kind of school am I going to? Or is it like what did nobody share with me? What but after a while, it's just crazy how you can just get used to maybe something new abnormal and it becomes normal because it was like nothing after a few weeks and throughout the years that I went there. But as I got older, I don't think I would want to send my child to a school that has metal detectors because I think that's a message to say, and to know the history of the school.
It definitely is from school to prison pipeline because it's semblance of school, and that's what a lot of people believe they're prepping our kids for prison. It's not successful in the world. It's more of to get them ready to be incarcerated because chances are, especially certain groups of kids and ethnicities, that's more likely where they're headed than any other place.
Right. And I mean, it adds a bit of a sort of a slightly, I don't want to sound cliche, but a traumatic mental experience because, you're supposed to be going to school fresh, trying to get your education, thinking about, your day to learn, but you got to think, I wonder if somebody got a knife on them. I wonder if somebody got a gun on them. It's just, and but like I said, sometimes it's what's happening why some of the schools have to draw for these measures because the school that I went to, the history was a rough school. Like a shooting happened in that school before metal detectors even came into play.
Yes,
Wow.
something
So,
always happens, and they're trying to be preventative most of the time. And unfortunately, it is in our neighborhoods. And it's sad to say that, but we have to address what's going on in our neighborhoods as well. But it's not just us, don't get me wrong, because we have school shooters of all ethnicities and other races. So I'm not just saying that.
right.
But I get it. I get it. So I understand Palm Beach's push behind putting metal detectors in all of their schools because you want to ensure that everyone's safe. I know school in the county that just did bulletproof glass in their front office. And I don't know if it was, necessary at this stage, but as a professional working in education, you want to be safe and you want to do everything you can to keep your students safe so that you can make it home to your families and they can make it home to theirs. So metal detectors, whatever the case may be, I'd rather know that all students are coming in safe. And it's just not for guns, it's for knives as well. Because kids bring knives, they bring in shanks, they bring in all kinds of things. So I think all of it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe as well, maybe we need to, as a community, maybe do a little bit more therapy within the community, like, because I just feel like that's really not the answer. For some reason, I don't really feel like the metal detectors is the only answer. It's a good thing for safety, but I really feel like maybe we need to talk to the young people in these communities. What are they going through? How can we help them to not get to that point where, violence got to be brought to the schools? I don't know.
Oh yeah, but
man,
I don't even it's so crazy. But a story just recently went viral around here on TikTok because a girl was arrested. She was arrested on campus and they recorded it because she brought a gun. And the backstory, what I learned was that she was afraid to get jumped by some girls. And so she brought it to school. So we've got to teach our kids that everything's not solved with violence. You don't have to always fight about it. You can agree to disagree. And I think that's a lot that we're missing a lot in our homes, in our communities, is that you can agree to disagree and move on with your life. You don't have to always agree. And when you don't agree, you don't have to fight it out.
Right. And maybe we need more people in the schools that are relatable to the children as well.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. When you have people who are more relatable, who can get to the kids and they understand the kids from all backgrounds, it makes it a lot easier. Those relationships with those kids who are struggling to find a voice or find a way or find themselves is important. So I completely agree with you on that.
That's true. Definitely. So moving on to the next story. This one is, it's one of those stories that it seems to just be popping up in the news a lot, and it just makes you think like what's going on in your own back door. Not back door, but backyard. St. Lucie County, or a St. Lucie County man was caught with 168 child porn images. He lured kids to his bedroom with video games, the sheriff said. His name is Chevion Jaden Aiken Walton. He's 21 years old, and he admittedly said that he's a sex addict, but he does not prefer children. But children are the ones whom he is charged with assaulting. It said that his victims ranged in age between 10 and 11 years old. He would get the kids to come into his bedroom by offering, to let them play video games. So that's how he would get them. He'd have them come over, come play video games. Next thing you know, he has nude pictures of the children. He's even seen on some of the images and video of actually sexually assaulting some of the minors that he lured into his bedroom or whatever. How he was caught was that one of the young children, or I think it's a young boy, he had his older brother come with him to go, play video games at Mr. Walton's house. And while the older brother was on his computer or gaming device or whatever, he saw images of child pornography, and he actually identified his little brother, in some of the images. And so, of course, he had to go tell family or adults or something. Police were called. They arrested Mr. Walton. And well, actually, they didn't have to arrest him because he was already being held in the St. Lucie County Jail on an unrelated burglary charge. So he was already in jail. But he was in sexual contact with these children from January to September 11th. And so from January to September, he was on this like spree of sexually assaulting children. The sheriff, Sheriff Mascara, said that he believes that there are more victims out there once the parents and families realize, if they lived in close proximity to Mr. Walton, or if their child has any knowledge of him, their child might be a victim of his as well. So they're expecting the number to go from 168 to however many more. Once more people are aware of what's going on in the case, then they might come forward and, say that their child or whatever was a victim of his as well.
Oh yeah.
Just crazy.
That's sick. It's just sick. There's
It's
no
a lot. It's a lot.
other than sick. And even if
Yeah.
you can say, "Oh, I'm just a addict" or whatever you want to say,
Right,
but at
right.
the same time, you can be an addict and still deal with adults. You can be an addict and
Right,
still deal with people your age. You don't have to be an
Right.
addict and kids. You're sick.
Right.
You're not just an addict. Like that's disgusting.
exactly. 168 images. And it's not saying if the images are of like the same children or it's saying just images. So I don't know if it could mean each image having a different child in it or something like that. But this is like a horrific story just to read that someone out there was preying upon children, and children love toys, they love games, and these predators know that. That's why you have to teach your children. Somebody offers you candy, or they want you to, help them find their pet, or come pet their dog or their puppy or their kittens, or you want to come play games and stuff. And look at him. He doesn't, he looks very young. Obviously, he's 21 years old. And if a child sees him, they could look at him as like a big brother or something like that. And they trust him. And, he doesn't look like the scary stranger who would come in and hurt them.
No, he don't.
He lives right next door. Yeah, he looks like one of them.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying? And so they're thinking, oh, well, he's nice. He just wants me to play video games with him, not knowing he's using that as bait to get them so that they can become his prey. It's just horrible. It's
Comfortable enough with him to trust him. And it's crazy
Right.
that no one said anything to the point where
right.
no one came forward. So, it just makes me think about, what they say on Facebook a lot. Safe adults don't ask kids to keep secrets, because I
Right.
can only
Right.
imagine what he must have told them in order for them to keep this a secret.
Right.
Or
Right.
how do you get them even out of their clothes to make them to get pictures of them? Like that's
Right.
crazy to me.
Yeah. It
Man,
really
I don't even know what angle to hit this from. I mean, mental illness is
know.
definitely one of the major ones. But apart from the mental illness, I always say, hurt people do hurt people. I would like to know probably his family background. Like what happened to him? Why does he feel the need to see kids and go that far with the
Right.
I can never wrap
Right.
my head around this thing, man.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, man.
It
It
is
really is.
even deeper than that,
disgusting.
Sam. What, like you said, what happened to him, or did anything happen to him, or what was he exposed to
Right.
that gave him such an addiction? So what did
Right.
he experience? And it's not to make an excuse, it's to understand so that you can better prepare your kids or kids that you may know and know what to feature and censor for them. But
Right.
that's just, I don't know. I have no words for that. And
Right.
I wonder if there were signs that people saw before that they just ignored about
Ignored,
his
right.
family,
Right.
and trying to just, because, that's why your kids don't go to everybody's house either.
That's
Right.
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 Right. That's
never
very
know.
I
true.
don't play that. I don't play that.
At all. At
My son is
all.
always with me, right? Because these days, as we know, you can't just worry about the girls. You got to worry about your boys too.
That's
You know?
right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All days, not even just these days, because I've heard so many stories about guys who I've known who gotten molested or abused and they never said anything and they didn't even recognize it. So just having that conversation with your boys and your girls,
Yeah, man.
what it is to be abused in that way.
Right.
Because let me tell you something. You see those victims that this unfortunate situation happened to, they will never be the same again. They will never be the same again. It's gonna mess with them for the rest of their lives. I mean, hopefully throughout years to come, they'll find healing and they'll know how to go about getting healing. But he damaged those kids. He damaged them.
And it takes seconds. It literally takes seconds to damage it for life. And so it's you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you have your kids around. You got to be careful who you trust because
once it happens, it's done.
And you can't take it back. All
You
it
can't
takes
take it
is one
back.
quick pull off the sidewalk into the house, in the back corner, around the corner, in the room. Like it doesn't take long. So just be mindful and I'm praying, for everybody, all of the victims in this situation.
And their families.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. I don't even want to imagine what's going to happen to him when he actually gets inside and they realize that's what he's inside for. Because some people, they like that.
Yeah. Not with kids. No. Not with
they don't play that. They don't play that. They're going to have a field day. They're going to have a field day with him.
Yeah. But this is no R. Kelly type case. This is like a different, and I'm not, this is different.
Right.
All wrong, all is wrong, different. But this is different.
Yeah. Because he lured them.
Did he say, I think in the article it said that he has a porn addiction or something like that?
Well, he said that he has a sex addiction. He's a sex addict. But children aren't his preference. But if children are not your preference, why are you targeting children? Yeah. If they're not your goal, your target audience, why are you targeting them? Why?
They were easy. They're easy to
They were easy, right?
They're easy to manipulate.
So basically, you couldn't get no grown.
Look at him.
No. Raine.
No. On the real though.
Raine said, "Look at him."
No, on the real, like looking at him for real, I thought it was, there's some social media influencers I watch from time to time, and they talk about a lot of the young men, things that they don't know. And believe it or not, I was surprised I'm like, who are these young men these guys are talking about? Because they were saying like these young men don't even know anything about hygiene.
Right.
Like, and I'm like, what? You don't know to wear cologne? You don't, come on, bro. Like,
well, we live in a generation where we have a lot of fatherless children, and a lot of motherless children. But even to have a mother in the house doesn't mean you have a mother.
Some Lacoste.
Look at Sam.
I'm just saying, get your cologne game up, man.
Look, Sam,
blue.
Listen, Sam gonna have his favorite cologne in the comments, y'all. Y'all be looking out for that. No.
I'm just saying.
Stay tuned. We have a very special episode coming through on Raine Rose's media called From Younger G's to Gents, where we're going to teach all the kids about special things. No.
Get your cologne game up, kids.
The cologne.
We're going to plug it in. No, I'm just kidding. But
I like that, right?
Sad story, crazy story to be so close to home. But you bring you what's new in the news, and this is what is new in the news.
Yes.
What we doing, Jess?
Yes. So, I mean, we have the last story, and I wish it was a happy one, but it's we're still following the Tim Ferriter trial. Yes, this is. Speaking of child abuse, it continues. And the latest news, from what we've gathered from this whole week, this week has been the trial for the Tim Ferriter case. Since then, the adopted daughter has testified and pretty much saying that, yeah, the son who they had in the box, he wasn't allowed to eat meals with the family. He had to stay by himself. He couldn't interact with them much. He had to do yard work if, whenever he was allowed out. It was just a lot. So she pretty much corroborated with all the evidence. The son himself, who was the boy in the box, as they term him to be, he actually testified as well this week. And he pretty much said, what the conditions were like and how he felt like he was being treated inhumane and as if it was a form of genocide. Like he feels as though they're just trying to get rid of him. They're trying to kill him off, which is what genocide means. And so right now the defense is trying to paint the son as the aggressor in this. He's not the victim. And the father had to make a tough decision to put his son in the box to discipline him. There are other means of disciplining children, and I don't think building a little storage unit for your child in a garage is a disciplinary action that most parents would agree with.
Right.
But yes. So right now, the state has rested their case. They presented all the evidence. The jurors had to watch the Ring video because they were also monitoring him via the Ring camera, and they watched footage from it. And it was pretty, hard on the defense case because it didn't help them at all. If anything, it made it worse for Timothy Ferriter and his wife Tracy, who are both being charged with this horrendous crime that they committed against their adopted son. The defense was actually trying to request that the judge overrule I guess they wanted to take back him not accepting the plea deal. When the judge threw that out, he said there's no way he's going back on the ruling that he made already. So they're going to move forward with it, being that they know they probably lost the case. Excuse me. So right now, I guess, excuse me, sorry. We're just waiting for the defense to state their case and bring in their witnesses and have their witnesses testify. I'm sure that's going to go into next week. And after all of that, we might have a verdict next week by the end of the week, depending on how many witnesses are going to be called to the stand for the defense. But it's really not looking good for the Ferriter family, Timothy and Tracy, to be more specific, the parents in this, because they're trying to justify themselves putting their son into an 8x8 foot box that they had constructed professionally in their garage. Like it wasn't some shed that they bought at Home Depot or something like that. They had builders come in and build this contraption for their son and pretty much had him in solitary confinement for years. So imagine the mental anguish that he had to go through. They also called on a child psychologist to talk about the psychological damage that they caused to their son, being that he was in solitary confinement and wasn't allowed to have access with his family, eat meals, have access to food or water or the bathroom even. So right now, the defense for the Ferriters, they're really wanting the judge to grant them an acquittal in this case. And the judge said, no, there's not going to be an acquittal. They're going to go further with the case and just see what the outcome is going to be based on what the jury comes back with their verdict, or, however they want this case to go. We'll know further. We'll definitely keeping up with it. So Sam and Raine, you guys can,
I
say how you feel about this.
Their actual defense is going. I mean, their defense, it's not a very solid defense at all. And what kind of witnesses will they bring in? Because even if you bring in witnesses to say that this kid was a behavior problem, your type of consequence. I think I was reading something about how they said they did it before in Arizona, right?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah. And apparently it's what the resolution the solution they came up with for his behavior, and it was okay in Arizona. What if I don't think it was okay in Arizona either, guys. I think y'all just
it wasn't. Right. It wasn't good in Arizona. It's not good in Florida. Yes. Right.
No, but
It's not good at all.
I'm not sure if I heard right, but was it the son that was saying,
Mhm.
was asking for forgiveness for him?
Well, the son, yes, the son was he actually testified and said that he doesn't see them in a bad light. He doesn't have a bad image of his parents. And he doesn't think that they intentionally tried to hurt him. But
Oh,
even with the child psychologist, he said it's not, abnormal for abused children to sympathize with their abusers because,
Stockholm
they
syndrome.
might not have, right. They might not have started off being abusive to you. It's like a process or a grooming phase where they, get you to
Right,
trust them,
right,
love them, and then comes the abuse. So you always reflect back to when they were nice to me, or sometimes you have good
right,
moments.
Or
You know
even
what I'm
right.
saying? So
brainwash him
Manipulation.
into believing that
yes.
he's such a behavior problem that he needs to be put in that type of confinement. So in
Mhm.
the mind, he's thinking they're doing what they need to do for my best interest because that's what they're teaching him. None of that is,
Right.
all of that should be considered in the case, because if that's the case, it's crazy. That's
Right.
All these cases, it just makes you really sit and think about how some people really sit in their quarters and think of
Yeah.
evilest ways to manipulate people.
Yes.
always.
Yes.
There are,
Crazy.
let's
Yes.
just say, there are evil people out there, and they literally focus their entire life on ways to manipulate, get over, humiliate, embarrass. That's what they do. That's what makes them happy. But people who do that don't even realize that they're just broken, because a person who's not broken don't need to do that. You don't have to hurt
Right.
someone else when you're healed. You don't have to hurt someone
Right.
else. You know who you are. Like, you don't have to do those things. You can be nice to people and be happy. You'll actually get joy in helping other people when you're happy with yourself. But
Right,
so many
right.
people are dealing with their own trauma, and until they heal, I don't know.
Right.
And you see
I mean,
the parents look functionable. You'd see them on the road
right.
and you'd be like, these are regular people in the neighborhood. So it doesn't
Right.
show
They
you got
go to
people.
work and work right next to you, and you would think they have no kind of mental issues. And they go,
Yeah,
well,
Right.
you might have an idea that they may have a mental issue, but you won't really, you won't
paid attention.
identify them with it. You'll be like, oh,
Right.
look, they're a little off, but you never know what they do when they go home.
Right.
Oh boy.
Right. And
That's
it's
why that's
crazy,
why I don't,
like
that's why I
what
don't
you
eat for
said.
people from the job.
Right. Right.
I
And
don't know
it's
what
also interesting, like what you said, Raine, about how there are people who just, and you as well, Sam, when you said that there are people who sit and just plot on how they could like be wicked and evil and cruel. Well, the Bible does, say that there are wicked people who they can't even sleep unless they've done evil to somebody.
right.
Yes.
They're
And
desperately
that
wicked.
is true.
I,
They're,
Yes.
they're desperately wicked.
I could not have spoke about this topic, but oh my God, like, you just have to be careful who you intertwine with, who you let in your circle, even passing by. Like, I don't entertain a lot of people or anybody anymore, because what are your intentions? You got to find people with genuine intentions, and you got to listen to your discernment, because a lot of the times we discern what's good and bad, but our heart wants to help. So when your discernment tells you to let it go, let it go. You cannot
And even
say
when it comes
that.
real quick too, even when it comes to relationships, you might get yourself involved with someone that can literally, they think of so many different ways to drain you. Because they'll think of so many different ways. How can I make my partner upset today? How can I make them mad? And then you find yourself running around in circles, and next to people, like you said, they're desperately wicked.
Listen, you better listen to me and just block them. Look, respectfully, block them.
Raine be telling it, boy. Raine be telling it.
Look, she does.
Don't even waste your energy on people like that. People who don't want to do well, let them go. Find you some people who do. And you know what? You don't need a lot of people. You need a few people, and God will send you your people. I am a firm believer, and He will send you the people who's supposed to be in your life. You don't have to hunt them down. You don't have to chase them. He will send them to you. But we're gonna get right into what's
Wow.
hot in hip hop, and I'm talking real hot in hip hop. So,
Yep.
Blueface, baby, as some people like to say. And if anybody knows, we don't do too much on Blueface, and we really don't. But we have to do the update on this story because it is what is real hot in the media right now. So Blueface, the judge actually gave him a suspended sentence of 24 to 60 months for his role in the shooting that happened in Las Vegas. What that means is he's simply getting probation. And the judge told him that pretty much as long as he follow his probation and he does not violate probation, she said, I quote, if you get back or if you get caught back here on any probation violation, especially anything involving a weapon, I will not hesitate to put you in prison for a significant period of time.
Ooh.
That's what the judge said to him. So if you know
Wow.
about Blueface, he's always in the media, and media brings drama. He is one of those evil people to me that we were speaking about. Like, he does a lot of things maliciously to people around him. And, you know, two of the main people being both of his kids' mother, John and
Okay.
I was like this.
Sorry, guys.
Narcissistic to me. That's in my opinion. He's super narcissistic and controlling, and he's just not a really good person to me. So I don't see him lasting long out here because he does a lot of immature things to get attention from social media. For example, recently posted his baby's penis on the internet.
Why?
Newborn babies. So, you know, the newborn babies, they have the belly buttons, and sometimes the belly buttons aren't going down because they have hernias. And you have to go to the doctor sometimes, and for the doctor to do surgery on them. Well, his new baby mom, Krishan, she had the baby maybe a month and a half ago or so. And he took a picture of the baby's hernia trying to prove that she was unfit. Meanwhile, he exposed the baby. So he didn't have back for the baby to even put an emoji over his private or nothing. He just posted it.
But why was the baby naked? Why was the child without a diaper on?
I'm guessing that she was changing the baby, or they were changing the baby, not quite sure. And he was like, well, look, pretty much just trying to say she's unfit. So that was his whole objective, to prove to the world, oh, she can't take care of a baby, because he actually asked her to have an abortion. So he asked her to not have the baby, but she refused because she had had several abortions in the past, and she understood the dangers of continuously having abortions and it reducing her chance to have kids. So she refused to have the abortion for this baby, with this baby, and she had her baby boy. She named him Krishan. Some people say Krishan Jr. So she named him after her. I don't think he's actually a junior, but I think because she gave him his name, they call him Krishan Jr. So
that's very interesting, because a woman naming her son after her.
But I like that name though.
I mean you can get away with it, but wow, he's named after his mom. That's different.
And
usually it's after the dad.
He's literally a mom boy.
He wasn't even there, but you know.
Sam. He's a what?
He's literally a mom boy.
A mom boy. You know what? Well, you know, he's probably gonna be more of a man with his mom than he is his dad, because this is the same dad that had his other son on a live video and there were strippers in the living room.
Jesus.
He's just not a stand-up guy. So I don't think it's gonna last 12 months. That's my bid. And I'm not to speak negatively on him, just looking at his past in the media and everything he has going on. I don't think he's gonna last very long out here. I think he's gonna end up going to prison. And I think that's the last place he needs to be, because he doesn't seem that tough to me.
Oh wow. I don't know Blueface. I don't know his backstory. I really don't know much about him, really. I don't really know what he does or why he's famous. I don't know. But I mean, just, I guess based on, you know, the media that I've seen on Raine's reality about him, it's always something negative. It's never anything positive, really. And I mean, for him to have a newborn baby, you would think that would be, you know, reason enough for somebody, he has what, 3 kids now, right? So that should be reason enough for him to try to get himself in order, get himself together for his children's sake, at least, even if it's not, to be with their mothers. But I mean, how old is he? Like, is
He's in
he
his mid-20s.
Yeah, he's not, he's old enough to know better. He's super immature. I'm not gonna blame it on his sign because I don't want the Aquarius jumping off, getting on me. I'm just gonna say I get it a little bit. I get it. Like, he's super immature, and I hope he grows up eventually. But it seems like he's babied a lot, and I think his mom has a lot to do with it because she supports a lot of it. Even when John went out and got her house.
A matter of fact, she recently came out. She recently came out and did a video saying she raised the F boy.
Oh, really?
She did say that.
Well, I'm not surprised because that's exactly what he is. And I don't, I have
said it, not me.
Yeah. I just hope he grows up sometime soon. And I definitely could see him. So I hope he makes it, but I don't think he's gonna make that much time on probation. But moving on, enough of Blueface and his drama. We're gonna get right into our real hot story of the week, and that is Suge Knight, who says he will not testify against Keefe D because they have the wrong guy. So Suge Knight he's not going to testify against Keefe D because he says Keefe D was not the shooter. He did not kill Tupac. He will not testify against him. Let's actually listen to what he has to say. We have the audio right here.
Then Keefe D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement with anything, who want to see? I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
The DA says that Keefe D was in the car with his nephew, and that presumably his nephew, according to the DA, is the one that shot Tupac, and that it was done with the full knowledge of Keefe.
So that was a clip of the episode where he stated that he will not testify. If you want to see the whole video, it is posted on our YouTube. You can go listen to the whole video on Raine's Reality on YouTube, Raine's Reality, Gossip, Entertainment, and Media. But he went on to say that he will not testify against him, even if, but does he have an option to not testify? If they call him, doesn't he have to testify? I mean, what he says in his testimony is up to him, but he has to testify.
He can, I mean, I don't know if he has the option to just not go if he is called to be a witness. I don't know what that would look like if he is, summoned to court and he fails to appear. I don't know if that's, grounds for him to be held criminally liable, but maybe a lawyer or somebody who might know could say something, in comments or send us a message or something. But I mean, if he goes on, to court or goes on the stand, he could just plead the fifth, couldn't he? Just not say anything, just he's going to invoke his Fifth Amendment right and let that be that.
Yeah.
He could do that, right?
Look, I am no attorney. I will do some research and get back to you. I just wanted to kind of know what you guys thought about it because Suge Knight was in the car with Tupac. So Suge Knight looked at him and a bullet grazed him. That's what we did on our last episode. And so he had to know who was in that car. If he was in the car, he knew. So like he said he's not going to tell who did it. He's just saying that it wasn't Keefe D. So that's what he's saying. He's saying, only 2 people can really tell that story. Who will tell that story? That's him and Tupac, but Tupac's dead and he's not going to tell the story.
So he knows who did it. He just won't say all these years he's known. But I mean, that's why so many people felt like he had something to do with it. And now that could bring up those same feelings, suspicions that people have had before. he has some involvement, even though he did get shot and grazed or whatever, and could have died because it did graze him on his head. Imagine if it wasn't a graze and actually a shot, he could have died the same
Mhm.
time around, when Tupac did.
You know,
But I mean,
about this, Jess, what happens this time when they don't miss because they come after your family because you testified?
that's
Well, you
right.
don't.
That's true.
So
That's true.
in his position, we're not talking about, neighborhood gangsters. We're talking
Right.
about real gangsters, like
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
just no neighborhood beef around the corner from where we from, that's
Right.
these real gangsters, like
Right. Who shoot up people's whole families if they can't get to
literally
it.
because
Yeah.
you told. I'm
Yeah.
not playing with it. I'm not playing with it.
Right. Right. And
I
he
think
see that they will shoot at him. They did shoot at him. So I mean, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's very interesting. But I mean, if he knows for a fact that Keefe did not do it, then I wouldn't want him to testify against an innocent person. If he really feels
Absolutely.
he didn't, then don't. I wouldn't want to say someone did something that they didn't do just for the simple fact of having somebody pay for it,
Yep.
because that's not fair. If they're innocent, then let them be innocent. Don't put something on them that shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I mean, if he knows for a fact he didn't do it, then don't. Yeah. What about you, Sam?
Well, how I look at it is, the whole snitching culture in LA, Compton, and those areas is it's something very serious. They take it very seriously over there. And like you said, you know, him coming out and saying, okay, he did it, it could affect his family or his friends.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, I
Grandkids,
think
his kids, like
I think he's playing it smart as well. I think he might know that, of course, the shooter, he know who the shooter was. I believe Suge know who the shooter is or was.
yeah.
He knows it wasn't Keefe. He know Keefe D was in that car, but Keefe D wasn't the shooter.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
And they're
what am
trying
I
to
gonna
convict you with the
put
murder,
in
and
it?
that's what they charged him with.
Right.
That's
So
why.
I think
And
he's
you know what?
smart.
And that's another thing with the judicial system anyway. You can't just make up charges. They have to fit the person. And then you have to be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that it was them. And there's already a lot of doubt surrounding this case. Unfortunately, Keefe D might have to sit down for a little bit until we go to trial. Because but you know what? He put his own self in that situation.
Yeah.
He dry snitched on himself.
So he has to sit down. He put himself in that situation, unfortunately. Because it places him at the scene, but it does not make him the shooter. And
Right.
they arrested him. They didn't arrest him for being in cahoots or a part of it. They arrested him as the murderer of Tupac, as the person who pulled the trigger. So
Right.
if the
What did
police
he
got
do?
it wrong, I
Right.
feel
They
bad
have
for
to let it
them.
go.
But
Yeah.
technically, even though he may not have possibly pulled the trigger physically, you can say he probably was the one that said, didn't he say he was the one that's like, let's go get him?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
That's what they said in the news. That's what the police said, though.
I
But
think that's
what
okay.
evidence do they have of that? I don't know. I got to go back and look at the interview again. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think he said it. I think I didn't say it. I didn't say
right?
it.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. He
He
said
said
it.
something about he gave the gun. So, but if he said that, that's why they're charging him as a hitman. Basically, the person who caught the hit. So look, Sam, come back, Sam. Look, come back, Sam. Sam's like,
I don't want to. I'm kidding.
no, I can't
Your
even
face
fall out
is
like
dancing
Sam.
already.
I like that special effect, Sam. When you do it, like the whole logo show, it's like dope. No, but we have one more story in what's real in hip hop, and I'm gonna bring this one up because it's a great way to end. It is our Nipsey Hussle story, where he gives a little bit of background about Dr. Sebi and his cure for AIDS.
Okay.
So we're gonna play the video and let you guys listen to that video and that audio, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
arrested because he was printing in magazines that he cures AIDS and sickle cell and cancer. And they like, that's false advertisement, that's malpractice of medicine, all type of thing. He wasn't no doctor. He just used herbs and his understanding of herbs. And he went to trial in New York. And he proved in the state of New York on record that he said, bring me y'all AIDS patients from y'all doctor. He treated them while he was on trial. He said, now have y'all doctors test them. The same ones diagnosing with AIDS, had them test them. 77 patients on record in 1985 by his herbs. Why we ain't never heard that? Why they ain't been on TV? They got a Tupac and Biggie, the 55th documentary they made about the Tupac and Biggie murder. Do you know what I'm saying? But why we ain't seen no doc on that? Why that's not no headline news? You feel me? What's to me is the story is that he went to trial against the state of New York and won. Then the feds indicted him. And he went to trial against the feds and won. And the judge even said like, oh yeah, you know, my whole life I wanted to change the world, but I just ended up being a judge. But today I'm gonna find you not guilty and change the world. That was her statement at the end of the whole trial. By finding him not guilty, she gets to impact the world. And yeah, we ain't never heard that story. You got to search for that. So, you know, after that, they'll go into everything he's done and, you know, figure out exactly how powerful dude was and why he ended up mysteriously dying in jail recently.
So this was a video that I came across on social media recently. I had never saw it before, but it touched me and I wanted to share it because I think it's powerful for people to understand, because now years later, I think this was in 2017. I don't want to say it wrong. It may be in 2017 when this video was actually posted. But what it did was it shed light on what a lot of people are now currently doing with the CMOS and a lot of the health tricks, all of the herbal ways of treating themselves. They're getting a lot to using herbs for more medication and increasing energy. And just looking at the diet that he used, and a lot of people are trying that diet, saying that the fruits and the vegetables and how it's increasing their energy and making it a better way to live. And he was onto something. Even came across the video with I should have posted it, but I didn't. Came across the video with Left Eye and talked about the same thing, very similar in how her diet was changing the way she lived and how she felt, and she was able, her intuition had increased, and it was crazy. I had Googling. I'm about to change my whole lifestyle around here. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little late to the game, but better late than never. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. Yes, I saw stuff about Left Eye, you know, when, you know, before she died in the car accident, and how she, you know, changed her, you know, everything. Like she was in, I think, Honduras or something like that when Honduras, she got killed. Yes, that's where she was living at the time. And you know, talking about alkaline and, you know, and you know, just, you know, and I mean, for mostly, not all, I'm not going to say all, but, you know, for a lot of Black people or people of African descent, of, you know, Caribbeans, you know, everything like that, all the islanders and all of that kind of stuff, including those here in America. Our diets and food plays a major part in our lives. You know, when you think about family, you think about coming together with each other, friends. Food is like that other family member. You know what I'm saying? It's present all the time and everything, but I think a lot of people are now waking up to the fact that you can't just put any and everything into your body. You have to be conscious and attentive about what it is that you're feeding yourself, because it has impacts on you. Positive if it's good, negative if it's bad. And so I think over the years, people have been getting more and more aware of like Dr. Sebi and just being plant-based, and not all the way plant-based, but just wanting to, you know, let what God put here be what you use for healing. And I remember like helping a guy with his show before, and he said, you know, he had been battling diabetes for a long time, to where his feet was, you know, tingling, you know, and they always say about your nerves in your feet when you were diabetic, and having to give himself insulin shots and all of that kind of stuff. And he actually had a doctor on as his guest, and she was talking about diabetes, and he said he just started taking organic cinnamon to regulate his sugar. And over time, he was off the diabetes medication and his feet were fine. He didn't feel the tingling or anything anymore. And then he said, he eats, you know, you have to regulate your diet, of course. but he said something that just made so much sense to me. And it's not like it was so profound, but it was so simple. He was like, dirt heals dirt. We come from the dirt. Dirt heals us. God put it here. God made us from the dirt. He made the trees from the dirt. He made, fruits and vegetables from the dirt. That's our medicine. It's our food and our medicine. So when he said that just, kind of resonated with me, like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Dirt heals dirt, and so when he gave his testimony about how he just started putting cinnamon in hot water like coffee, and he would drink that in the morning and his sugar be regulated all through the day. He'd be fine, not have to take one diabetic medication or anything. So when, you said that, Raine, about people using herbs more and, taking a whole natural way to take care of yourself, get healing and everything, it makes sense. It really does, because people want an alternative. It makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
I mean, I love that. I absolutely love the dirt. The dirt heals dirt, because
Right.
like you said, we are from the dirt. That is very simple and very really true. So I love that, because it just made me think about just the plants alone are growing from the dirt. And when you nurture dirt and you nourish the dirt with the right nutrients, the plants flourish. So when you nurture yourself with the right nutrients, you are going to flourish too. And cleaning up your diet. And I'm a very picky eater anyway. I don't eat too much crazy stuff, but definitely cutting down on the meats. I eat a lot of vegetables and fruit regardless, but definitely more of the correct ones, and making sure my diet is catered to more of the things that I need to have a healthier lifestyle. So it made me more aware and more mindful. And I always felt that I don't eat crazy anyway, so I don't really need to do much. But there are definitely things you can do to make your body more healthy, so that you feel better, you have more energy, you can stay healthy. So that is
because it matters.
Go ahead, Sam.
It matters.
It does.
No, it all starts, first of all, I think one of the main things Dr. Sebi was trying to push is that before anything, changing your diet, you got to change your mentality. You got to change the way you think, because it starts with your mind. And I'm attesting to that for myself, because recently I did a detox, and ever since I did the detox, my mind cleared up to the point where, because we usually tell ourselves we love ourselves. I love me. I love myself. But sometimes we don't know the true meaning of loving ourselves. And what I started to think about was, if I love myself, then I won't put certain things in my body.
Right.
I won't eat certain things. And that's the message he was trying to tell you, because he came out and said it, love yourself first. And I would hear him say it, but I never got it. But then when I'm starting to go through my process, I'm like, I got it now. If you love yourself, you would not go ahead and purchase something to put in your body that can kill you, can hurt you. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So you start to wake up. And also, apart from Dr. Sebi, there's another brother. I got his book. A little plug, Dr. Bobby Price. You know what I'm saying?
You can't see it. Bring it in. You come up.
You see
All right,
it?
you know what? We're going to post it later, because we can't see it right now. Now we lost Sam and the book. Come on, Sam, come back.
My bad.
It's okay.
Man,
It's a lot.
I'm ghosted today. What's up with that? But yeah, so basically he's another individual that tells you about self-love. And for us to start, because we do have a diet issue in America. And a lot of the foods that we eat here, in other countries, it's banned.
And and people don't pay attention to it, because they make what's not good for us affordable and what's good for us unaffordable. So
that 4 for 4 needs to go through the door.
Right.
I'm
right.
just saying.
You hit us with one now.
I'm just saying.
Baby steps, Sam. Baby steps.
Oh, you love that 4 for 4? You love that 4 for 4?
Wendy's is
love the nuggets. You love the nuggets.
Look, let me get the front of the cup. Wendy's is a sponsor.
Love yourself, Raine. Love yourself.
Working on it. Baby steps, one day at a time.
Love yourself.
She's still toxic, y'all. She's still toxic. I'm just kidding. Nah, you got to get there.
I'm
You got to
good.
get there.
I'm
Trust
toxic.
me.
I'm not Blueface toxic though.
No, no,
No,
no, no, no, no.
Wow, the shade of it all.
Woo!
no. We appreciate y'all for tuning into the show, man. We're gonna wrap it up for tonight. We thank you for tuning into another episode of Raine's Reality. We are here on Fridays at 7-ish o'clock. So y'all make sure to keep
We
up.
black.
We will go live on YouTube. It will be posted on our YouTube after the fact. Make sure you follow all social media, our Instagram at Raines_reality. You can also go to our Facebook page and our YouTube at Raines Reality Gossip Entertainment and Media. We are here. It's your girl Raine Rose. Follow me on all platforms at I am Raine Rose. And you can follow my peoples.
Yes, just Jess at Facebook, just Jess, and Instagram, Jess_right.
Yes, and on Instagram, you can follow me at SamG_the official. No, the official. I'm just kidding. Official.
Yeah, look, the official. Sound like you're the Grand Reaper or something. Official.
You
know what I mean? Yeah, just official.
You're tough out here, Sam, but you know what? I appreciate you all. And you can go find everything on the RaineRose.com website /Raines Reality. You can find all of our show information, upcoming blogs, so forth and so on. And all of our latest shows will be posted on the website as well. As always, we appreciate you for tuning in. Till next time, peace, love, happiness. It's Raines Reality.